Hello, Medicare Advantage risk adjustment operators, innovators, and learners. Welcome to another learning episode of the Hughes Academy Risk Adjustment Made Easy, the Medicare Advantage kind. I am your host today, Dr. Prince Bewua. If today is your first time joining us, we want to say welcome to our channel. We hope you get value from our videos and our resources that are posted on our website. If you have been learning with us, we also want to say welcome and thank you for spending your evening with us. I will encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss anything that we release. Today, we are continuing on the new edits that were released with the Supplemental Benefit Service codes that CMS released earlier this year. And here is the user guide that you can find on the CSSC operations website that contains the information on the things that we'll be discussing today. And we have been using this resource this month and also even last month as we looked at the supplemental benefits code. So I will encourage you to look at this guide to study more on what we are covering today. We are looking at some of the examples of the new edits for supplemental benefits data that CMS requires health plans to submit to the encounter data processing system. And with the implementation of these codes, CMS also implemented several edits on the EDPS side to help check and validate these supplemental benefits data as they get submitted to CMS. We have looked at 19000, and also last week we looked at the first part of edit 19005. If you're new to EDPS edits, I have another video that goes through some of the basics of the EDPS dispositions, and I will leave a link in the show note that you can watch to learn more about EDPS edits in general. But if you're new to this month, I will encourage you to look at the prior videos to get a better understanding of where we're coming from and where we are today. Today we pick up from edit 19005, which is missing supplemental benefits details. Last week we started on part 1, and today we'll be looking at part 2. We learned from last week that this edit applies to encounter data records because the supplemental benefits data are supposed to be submitted on encounter data records, not chart review records. So this edit applies to that. And also this edit applies to the header and also to the service line of the encounter data record. So as you have your 837, you will have the header and the line, and this edit applies to both of them. And this edit also applies to institutional, professional, and DME. So it applies to the 837I and also applies to the 837P that are used to submit institutional and professional and DME respectively. Also, this edit is a reject edit, meaning that when it's rejected, you have to make the corrections and resubmit it, which is the reject edit. If you are new to edits, you may check out the video that I leave a link in the notes that you can learn more about the edits. This edit validates that the supplemental benefits indicator is submitted when any of the default diagnosis, header level procedure, or revenue codes are submitted on a service line. So if the supplemental benefits data values are submitted, this edit is checking that everything pertaining to that is submitted appropriately. Otherwise, this edit will fire, and that is the purpose of this edit. Last week, we went through part 1, which we looked at edit 19005 on professional and DME records. Today, we are looking at this edit as it pertains to institutional encounter data records, meaning data that are submitted on the 837I. On the institutional line, the edit will post on the line level when the service line contains a default procedure code of SBSP1, which is the default supplemental benefits procedure codes, or the default revenue code of 1111, and the service line does not contain any of the supplemental benefits indicator, which is PWK01IR, PWK02EM, PWK05AC, PWK06, which is the applicable supplemental benefit code that you are submitting. And the service line from date is not or after 1/1/2024, which CMS provided the guidelines that data that has from date starting from 2024 should be submitted. So for the institutional, they are looking at the procedure codes and the revenue code as opposed to the professional and the DME that were on the procedure codes and the diagnosis codes. So this is pertaining to the procedure codes and the revenue code, which is the key difference here on the institutional line versus the professional line. So if you are submitting this data, all of them should be aligned. Otherwise, CMS will reject this line with edit 19005. On the header level, this edit will post when the encounter data record contains the default diagnosis code, the SBSD1, which is the default diagnosis code for the supplemental benefits service codes, and none of the PWK lines pertaining to supplemental benefits also contains the data values that are needed to submit supplemental benefits. And then the statement from date or the counter from date is on or after January 1st, 2024. So on the header, you're looking at the diagnosis codes and other things pertaining to the encounters and the date of service, which is also similar to what you will see on the professional and the DME. And as a final note, if this edit is posted at the header level, the entire record will be rejected. If it's a line, then it's just one or two lines, or the applicable lines will be rejected. The edit will not also post on the line. This is the end of our series for looking at some of the examples of the new encounter data processing system edits on supplemental benefits. There are tons of other examples that you will see in the guide that I had shown earlier on. You can find that guide on the CSSE operations website. Next week, because it's Thanksgiving, we wouldn't have any video so you can use to enjoy the time with your family. And we want to say a big thank you for all the viewers and all the support and the emails and the texts that have been coming in into my mailbox. It's very encouraging to see all the various ways that you all support this channel and has been helpful to you all. You can also go to our website and we have our signature gift. If you are not on our email list yet, it is From Chaos to Clarity, the Essential Medicare Advantage Risk Adjustment Data Sources Comparison Cheat Sheets, which compares the various data sources used for risk adjustment in a very simple and easy way for you to download for free. And you also get the chance to be on our email list. And there are also tons of resources on our website, which is www.healsacademy.com/resources that you can download some free resources for your work in Medicare Advantage encounter data. If this has been helpful to you, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Otherwise, I will see you in December sharing back on some of the interviews that I had the privilege of being part of this year. Back to you. Bye for now.